Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling sermorelin.
Hmm.
You might have heard about this peptide therapy, maybe in health and wellness circles. We're going to unpack it.
Yeah, figure out what the buzz is actually about.
Our goal is really just to understand, what is sermorelin? How does it supposedly work? And where does it fit in this whole picture of optimizing our physiology?
Exactly. We've looked at a range of info, some initial science, how it's maybe viewed by certain, prominent voices.
Right.
We're focusing on how it's a synthetic analog of GHRH, growth hormone releasing hormone,
GHRH.
and that link to a natural process. That's really key here.
Okay, so GHRH, that's something our body already makes in the hypothalamus, you said.
Yeah, precisely. It's made in the hypothalamus, part of the brain.
And its job is?
Think of it as the trigger. It goes to the pituitary gland and basically gives the order. Release human growth hormone, HGH.
So it's the natural starter signal for HGH.
You got it. The spark plug.
And sermorelin comes in as this synthetic copy
It's
almost.
an analog, yeah.
So instead of just injecting HGH directly, sermorelin is more like nudging the pituitary, encouraging it to release its own HGH.
That's it, exactly. A gentle nudge is a good way to put it.
That sounds like a really fundamental difference, that indirect approach.
It is. It's a crucial distinction, really. Sermorelin is designed to work with the body's own system,
Right.
supporting that natural release pattern, ideally, not just flooding things with synthetic HGH. It's, let's say, a more nuanced way in.
Okay. So before we get to the human side, what did the early stuff show? The preclinical studies, animal models? What got scientists interested?
Well, the animal studies were pretty clear. They showed sermorelin could definitely stimulate the pituitary to release HGH. No big surprise there, perhaps.
Okay.
But what was really interesting was how it seemed to do it. It looked like it mimicked the natural pulsatile pattern of HGH release.
Pulsatile, meaning it comes out in bursts, not just a steady stream.
Exactly. Rhythmic bursts. And that's not just a quirk.
Why is that pulse so important? Is it better somehow?
It's believed to be, yeah. That natural pulsing seems essential for HGH to work properly throughout the body. It might help keep receptors sensitive, improve signaling. It could lead to more balanced, sustainable effects compared to just, a constant level of synthetic HGH, which the body isn't used to.
Makes sense.
And that preclinical work also hinted at other things,
Mhm.
potential benefits like increasing lean body mass, maybe reducing some fat tissue, even some positive effects on immune function in those animal models, of course.
Right, but enough to say, okay, let's look at this in people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It provided that initial justification.
So moving to humans then, when they started studying it in people, what uses emerged? What did it actually do?
Well, one established use is actually diagnostic.
Oh, interesting. How?
Clinicians use it to test the pituitary's ability to make HGH in kids or adults where they suspect a deficiency.
Right.
They give sermorelin, measure the HGH response, and it helps them see how well the pituitary is working.
Like a little challenge test for the gland? Okay. But what about as a treatment for fixing a problem, not just diagnosing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Research has definitely looked into its therapeutic potential, especially for adults who are confirmed to have growth hormone deficiency.
And what did those studies find?
Some reported positive changes in body composition, things like more lean muscle, less body fat.
Okay.
And some people in those studies also reported feeling like they had more energy, maybe better sleep quality, just a better sense of well-being overall.
You mentioned earlier, though, that the effects are often more subtle compared to just taking HGH directly. Why is that?
Well, because it's working through the body's own system. It's encouraging your pituitary to make HGH.
Right.
So the levels usually stay within a more, let's say, physiological or natural range. It's not designed to push HGH way up into super high, unnatural levels, which can happen with big doses of synthetic HGH.
So it's working with the body's built-in limits and controls.
That's the idea,
Yeah.
optimizing within the natural regulatory system.
Okay, so given that more natural mechanism, what about side effects? Is it generally seen as safer than direct HGH?
That's a really critical point. And generally, yes, it's considered to have a more favorable safety profile.
Because it avoids those super high levels.
That seems to be the main reason. Less likelihood of causing those excessively high HGH levels, so the risk of some of the more serious side effects linked to synthetic HGH is thought to be lower.
That's good to know, but I mean, there must still be some potential side effects.
Oh, definitely. Like any medication or therapy, the most common things reported tend to be pretty mild and often temporary.
Like what?
Usually things right at the injection site.
Yeah.
Some pain, maybe swelling, a bit of redness. Pretty standard injection stuff.
Okay. Manageable.
Yeah. Some people might also get a temporary flushing feeling or maybe a mild headache. Usually doesn't last long.
Anything else less common?
Less frequently. Studies have mentioned things like dizziness, maybe some nausea, or even a weird, like, metallic taste for a short time.
Huh.
But the main takeaway here, and this is crucial, is that anyone even thinking about sermorelin needs to have a proper chat with a qualified healthcare professional.
Right. To weigh up their specific risks and potential benefits.
Absolutely. Not a one-size-fits-all thing.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. How might some of the big names in health and wellness view sermorelin? We often hear about, say, Andrew Huberman, Joe Rogan, maybe Dr. Craig Conover. Huberman, first, he talks a lot about hormones.
Yeah, he does. And he really emphasizes the body's own balance, right? Homeostasis. He often warns about overriding natural systems with huge doses of stuff.
So sermorelin's approach, stimulating natural release, that might fit his philosophy better.
Potentially, yeah. I'd imagine he might view it with, let's call it cautious optimism, because it tries to work with the body's signals.
But he'd want solid evidence.
Oh, absolutely. He would almost certainly stress the need for really strong scientific backing and looking at each person individually, health status, needs, all that.
Okay. What about Joe Rogan? His podcast hits on peptides, performance, longevity. Has sermorelin come up much there?
While he definitely covers peptides and performance enhancers, specific deep dives just on sermorelin don't seem to be a regular feature. Not that I've seen widely.
So more general talk around optimization.
Probably. His show often mixes personal anecdotes with expert opinions. If sermorelin came up, it'd likely be in that context optimizing performance, maybe aging well.
Right. Part of a bigger toolkit, maybe?
Yeah, alongside other things people are trying.
And Dr. Craig Conover, he's known for working with peptide therapies.
Right, that's his area. So given his focus, it's very likely he's discussed sermorelin's potential.
Makes sense.
Its whole mechanism, stimulating the body's own HGH, fits right into that idea of using peptides to optimize health, help recovery, improve performance.
So he probably sees its value?
I'd expect so, yeah. For things like supporting healthy aging, maybe body composition. But importantly, like Huberman, he really emphasizes working with doctors who know what they're doing.
Understanding the nuances.
Exactly. These aren't things to just dabble with casually. You need expert guidance.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Sermorelin. It's a synthetic GHRH analog.
Right.
It encourages our own body to make and release growth hormone. Preclinical stuff in animals showed it worked, and importantly, seemed to mimic that natural pulsatile release.
Crucial point, yeah.
Human studies show it can be used diagnostically and therapeutically, maybe helping with body composition, energy, sleep, especially in people with diagnosed GH deficiency.
Correct.
And generally, it seems to have a better safety profile than direct HGH, mostly milder side effects.
That seems to be the consensus, yeah. Fewer risks associated with those super high levels.
And while maybe Huberman and Rogan haven't done hours just on sermorelin, their general ideas about hormone balance and optimization are relevant. And someone like Dr. Conover, who specializes in peptides, likely sees its potential.
That sums it up really well.
Yep.
The core idea is that indirect action, working via the body's own signals for, hopefully, more physiological effects.
It's definitely interesting, this whole area of trying to gently support or nudge our body's natural processes rather than just overriding them.
It is. It raises questions about how we approach health optimization moving forward.
Food for thought. Well, thanks for unpacking sermorelin with me today.
My pleasure. Good discussion.